How much does it cost to go to the Nürburgring? The Nürburgring is famous throughout the whole world for being a car enthusiast heaven, with many races like Formula 1, Porsche GT Cups and 24 Hours are being hosted there. On top of that, it is a mecca for drivers like Misha Chowdhury, the late Sabine Schmitz, who was famous for making a name there. Of course, if that wasn't enough, manufacturers go there all the time to test brand new sports cars or supercars to beat other manufacturers and set fast world records. So it's no surprise that a lot of the population want to visit this mecca of automotive greatness. But at what cost? This is a topic I have researched quite heavily over the recent months because I've seen so many people do it and so many people talking about what happens if you have an accident. How much does it cost to have fuel? Are you technically insured? In this video, I'm going to answer all that for you. If you're new here, I'm Cars with Ben. Let's hit the show reel. Tomorrow, I'm going to be driving this car all the way to Belgium. I'm going to be going through the Channel Tunnel and down the motorway. Events as well, and sometimes they can be kind of wild. But to see it on this list is really, really encouraging. With around 300 units potentially out. Everyone already knows that you need to keep it well maintained. Porsche, when it comes to their cars, they've been well known for Boxsters, 911s, Cayennes. The GT86 versus the GR86. There's definitely something unwaveringly cool about an affordable, high-performance executive car. Liability and unreliability. One of my favourite Nismos today. In this video, I'm going to split it down into 5 easier steps so that when you do your dream Nürburgring trip, I'm going to talk about all of the costs that it's going to be. That way you don't waste time on anything that you're not going to need, any money that you're going to spend that you won't be bothered about. It comes down to petrol and transport, where you're going to stay, track and insurance, as well as what happens if you are in an accident and how much that actually might cost just to be on the safe side. I'm also going to assume for this particular video that you are driving from the UK, as at the moment that's where a lot of people are driving to, and it's where a lot of people seem to want to go to for the summer with their mates. If you like this video, do consider subscribing, as I make a lot of car content on a weekly basis talking about reliability to cool classics you can buy in the future. Starting with petrol and transport, as this is where you're going to need to start filling up, so maybe £60 let's say to get down to Dover and across the Channel Tunnel, which will get you to Calais. Then you're going to need to drive around 170 miles to the Nürburgring itself. Assuming you don't stop, you could go there in a day from the UK. This would be the more preferable option because you would save a lot more money than having to get a hotel. Of course, most people who drive to the Nürburgring do like to camp, so that is an option. But one of the biggest things for the Nürburgring is getting across the channel. Most people either go through boats or Eurotunnel. The Eurotunnel personally cost me £150 with another passenger, but if you work that out to about £77-ish, it's not too bad. Just make sure you book in advance, or you could pay around £50 for a boat return. Next up will be accommodation. Now, most people will want to stay near the ring, so obviously anything around this is going to be less expensive than what I'm about to say here. You have 3 choices: the Doran AM Nürburgring, the Linde Hotel Nürburgring, and the other Lindener Hotel Nürburgring is on the other side, all priced at £159 to £200 a night. Obviously that is the most expensive, but that is going to be one of the best ways to experience the Nürburgring close up. Upon further inspection on booking.com, you can see that most places will be around £100 a night. Potentially your biggest cost accommodation, but of course it's to be expected. So let's cover the basics. To do a lap of the Nürburgring is currently €35. When looking at a Reddit for the Nürburgring, I saw that one guy took his BMW 330i there and he did 5 laps, and that cost him around €175 for those 5 laps, so it's not cheap.
Wow.
And around €50 to €75 of fuel, so add that on top. Bear in mind that you can't actually race at the Nürburgring, so of course he wasn't going super fast either, and he wanted to protect the car he was driving, of which he rented. Now you can go down 2 routes. You can go down the rental route or your own car route. If you want to drive your own car on the Nürburgring, which most people will want to, it is going to cost you more, especially for insurance. However, if you don't want to crash your car, you can go for the rental car route, which is a Nürburgring taxi, as they call it. One thing to note is both ways will cost you insurance, because going on a track and the Nürburgring will not be covered by your insurance. Either way, you're probably going to have to pay €200 just to get your track insurance, or €200 to rent a car. While you are now looking at €500 or £410 roughly at this point, people are saying it's still worth it. Remember, you've got to treat this as if it's a very special holiday, which it is. It's not something you're going to do all the time. Unfortunately, I would like to do it all the time. If you'd like to sponsor me at Nürburgring. One of the things I didn't say in this is that you will need little accessories, especially maybe like a driving helmet, or if you need to get tyres, you might need to bring a spare set of tyres, and that is not going to be cheap either. Accidents at the Nürburgring. Hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, here are some things to know about. Having an accident at Nürburgring is well coveted, but obviously it's worth going over again. So all the information is taken from Nürburgring websites and carbuzz.com. Here are just some examples. Roadwork setups can often be $238. So if you have an accident, someone needs to put cones down, they have to arrive at the scene, deploying a team, that sort of thing. Removal of damaged guardrails. Everyone's heard this before, but this can be $28 per metre, or about €25 per metre. i.e. this could end up being around €300 just to repair the damaged guardrail for most people. Applying installation of new guardrails can often be €70 per metre. Then you've got a safety car deployment, which is often around €60. Wages for staff is around €60, and a complete Nürburgring closure. God forbid that it won't happen for anyone really, but if it does, it is €1,500 potentially per hour. YouTuber Misha also crashed recently in his Toyota GR86, which cost him approximately €500. And then there's the personal costs. Of course, your own car is destroyed, or at least scratched, which is not good, so you want to keep that as low as possible. So let's assume the worst case scenario, you did crash at the Nürburgring and it wasn't the best. It might cost you the best part of €1,000 to €2,000. One important thing about the Nürburgring is when you should go. Often seasons can be from May to September, which is the main time to go. Otherwise, going in winter would be pretty much hell, as it's known as the green hell, because it often rains. And here are some insider tips as well. Secret number 1, join the newsletter and social media pages so you can get good times for booking and when you can go next year. Even when the weather's good, there can be a lot less cars on the track, so schedule your visit. Insider secret number 3, come and drive in the evenings like Monday to Thursday if you're able to. That's always the quieter time. Insider secret number 4, always visit for multiple days in a row. That way, the weather can be a bit more undesirable depending on which day you're on. Let me know your thoughts on the Nürburgring prices. Would you go? Would you consider it? And is it worth it? Because it can really rack up to possibly €1,000 to €2,000. That is a lot. For most people, they could go to Mexico, to Australia, to America for that. For a track day, it really does add up. For what you basically get is 5 laps, maybe at max, if you want to spend that much. For some people though, it will be a mecca and a place to go for the car enthusiasts, and I can totally understand it. But when you can get a whole car for the same price potentially as going to the Nürburgring, it does put it into perspective. Let me know your thoughts below. Have you been to the Nürburgring? Hope you enjoyed this video. And if you do like the content, as always, don't forget to subscribe.